Welcome to episode 562 of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
And I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says...
Off is the direction you can fuck.
Nice.
Yeah. I heard The Rock say that.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you know, he's back in WWE, and he's full-on heel mode. Full-on bad guy mode. And he's cutting these promos on Twitter that are, like, profanity-laced. Like, you can't do that on TV, so he's doing it on Twitter, which is interesting. And he was, and all you Cody crybabies, off is the direction you can fuck. And I was like, that is genius. I need to drop that line on somebody someday.
Right.
Like, I need to be in an argument and just pull that from the archives and be like, you know what? Off is the direction you can fuck.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
I like that one.
Yeah, so do I. I do. And he's been phenomenal. Like, this is, like, to me, like, The Rock's best work ever.
Yeah.
Because it's not, like, over the top with the Rudy Poo candy ass and stuff like that. It's, like, it feels very real.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I think professional wrestling's at its best when it's, like, it's always like that. They always say a lot of times, especially in the attitude area, it's like, well, that's my personality just turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Like, you know, okay, I get that. That makes sense. But sometimes turning it back a notch to 10, you know, and it's not, you know, I mean, he comes on, you know, he says, finally The Rock has come back, and he finishes with, you know, if you smell what The Rock is cooking. I mean, you have to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, everything in the middle is not the nursery rhyme, you know, stuff that he used to do.
Yeah.
It's it because of that, it has a much more real feel to it. It's like, ooh, shit.
Yeah.
This is personal.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not jumping down a wrestling rabbit hole, but I've been enjoying that, and like I said, that particular line, I was just like, that is fucking brilliant. I don't know if he made that up or if he stole it from somebody, but I am using that someday. I'm going to be in an argument with somebody, and I'm going to drop that line.
Nice.
Yeah. So how you been?
Good.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I tried watching that movie with the dragon.
Oh, Damsel.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It just seemed to rehash a lot of the old tales that I've seen before. Now, the dragon looked good.
Yeah.
I'll say, but it just seemed, I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. Maybe I wasn't in the right frame of mind for it.
Maybe. That's for because I mean, I thought it was very good. I thought it was very well done. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I thought it was done well. It
Yeah.
just seems like it was telling the same story. I don't know. I just couldn't.
I mean, it is to an extent, but you get to a point, and then there's, I don't want to call it a twist, but it is kind of like a twist. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I don't want to give it away, but it is like, but at the beginning, it sets you up for everything. It's like, you know, it says like, you know, there are stories of men saving damsels in distress. This is not one of them,
right?
You know, and I found it to be very interesting. I enjoyed it. I'm sorry you couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I'm bummed about that. In fact, like I hope you can,
maybe I'll give it another shot.
Yeah. But I liked it a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like it's one of the I would say it's one of the better movies I've watched recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a very disappointing turd of a movie.
Oh, really? What was it?
It was called Hypnotic.
Okay.
Now, it's got Ben Affleck in it. It's got William Finchner in it.
Okay.
And it's got Jackie Earle Haley in it for a minute. And it's directed by Robert Rodriguez.
Okay.
Like, this should be, like, I saw all that and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this should be really good. And it was like Robert Rodriguez was trying to do a poor man's version of Inception.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just bad.
Like, the whole concept of it is that there are these people that are called hypnotics.
Okay.
and they are able. It's not to like they said. It's not telepathy where you're reading a mind. It is manipulating a mind, and you have this ability to manipulate a mind to make them do whatever you want or see whatever you want.
Okay.
So of course, you start questioning. Well, what's this person's motive? Is it real? Is it not real now?
Yeah.
Are they being manipulated? And then later on, it's like, is what they're seeing real or not real? And there's like this whole scene, like where like it's like Ben Affleck's in like a rail yard, but like he's looking ahead, and it's like bending back and up over him. It was like, and like I'm still sticking with it. I'm thinking, okay, I mean, whatever. Like, and like you get to the end, and it was just. It was disappointing because of everybody involved.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I was really bummed out because I really wanted this movie to work.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason it doesn't, and I don't understand. Like, the pieces of the puzzle should have fit together, and they didn't. Like, it was very surprising to me. And it was like, I mean, I guess Robert Rodriguez is due for a dud at some point, but man, this hurt. It really did. It didn't even look like a Robert Rodriguez movie. That's the worst part.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, because you have an expectation with a Robert Rodriguez movie, just how it looks, how the camera moves, and it was like he was trying very hard to do something different from what he normally does. And he says it's an idea he's had since 2002. He came up with the story, and I think he co-wrote the script.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, maybe you had like a Matrix influence in 2002, and now it's more Inception-ish. Like, it didn't feel like an original take on the material.
Right.
And I was just, honestly, I was very bummed out by the end of it. I would not recommend, like, as hard as this is to me, I would not recommend anybody watch this movie.
Right.
It hurts me to say that.
Yeah.
Because I love Robert Rodriguez. I love Ben Affleck. And like, Affleck's performance wasn't lacking, and William Fichtner's performance wasn't lacking, but it was just like the overall story just lacked.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It was painful. Like, at the end of it, I honestly was just like, it's gonna hurt me to review this movie on the show, but I can't recommend it. Like, it's not even like, well, if you like a certain thing like I normally do. Yeah. Like, with a bad movie, I'll tell you, like, it's bad, but I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't even enjoy this.
Yeah.
Like, that hurts me to say. Because I love Robert Rodriguez so much as a director.
Yeah.
But.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, I watched that, and I watched 3 Godzilla anime movies. Because they were all connected.
Yeah.
They're on Netflix. I think what was it? Godzilla, Monster Planet, Godzilla, the City on the Edge of Destiny, and I can't remember what the last one was. And I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Except, like, each one of them had a very specific theme. The first one was about, like, our humanity. The second one was, like, our reliance on technology. And the third one was about religion.
Okay.
And, I mean, the overall story arc makes sense. But, and I enjoyed it. Yeah. But I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
Right.
Because it's like I enjoyed it because, like, it's like, okay, I'm like, it was like one of those things where, like, we abandoned Earth because of Godzilla. And we come back 20,000 years later. Like, okay. It's only been, like, 25 years for the humans on the ship because they're folding space and stuff, but it's been 20,000 years.
Right.
And they come back to a 20,000-year-old Godzilla. Like, okay. They find, like, in the first movie, like, they find, like, this one, and they're like, oh, that's, maybe Godzilla just reproduced, this is his offspring, whatever, because he was about the same height and everything. And they kill that one, and at the end of it, it's like, oh no, there's Godzilla, and he's like under a mountain, you know, and he rises up, like he's huge, you know.
Yeah.
So like it was interesting, like, and I enjoyed it because I would say you should watch it if you enjoy anime.
Okay.
Like, because that's what it was, an anime that just happened to have Godzilla in it.
Right.
But it thematically, it was still an anime.
Okay.
It wasn't a Godzilla movie. Like, Godzilla was just like the driving force behind everything.
Right.
But it was interesting. Like I enjoyed it, and if you enjoy anime, I would say you should give it a shot. It's from 2017 on Netflix. But if you don't like anime, if you're looking for a Godzilla movie,
right,
there are lots of other options out there, and this would not be what I would recommend.
I see.
You know.
Gotcha.
But yeah, those are the two things I watched this week.
Nice.
Yeah.
And a bunch of porn.
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, that's a given. So I go to bed every night.
Nice.
I take a swallow of NyQuil and, you know, just keep going until I nod out. You know?
Wow. Jesus.
That's a sight you want to wake up to, huh? Knocking on my door, walking in. Hey, Sean. Oh, my God. You know, got something wrapped around my neck to choke myself out. You know?
Yeah.
You know.
Like fucking David Carradine.
Michael Hutchins.
Yeah.
Find me in the closet.
Fucking strapped up with belts and
Yeah.
fucking blue.
with an empty bottle of NyQuil next to me.
Yeah.
You know.
It's so funny. I came across this. I get the weirdest shit on Facebook.
Oh, don't we all?
And it's not that I'm reading anything crazy. It's just,
Yeah.
It just comes up like, what's the last thing that was weird that came up? Something about animal abuse, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why am I getting this crap? I didn't even click on anything. Do you know what I mean?
Like,
I'll get men's health stuff all the time.
Yeah. That makes more sense because of, like, you're probably, like, doing, like, searches for, like, because you're dieting.
Yeah.
And exercise, like, and stuff like everything you're doing.
And stuff like that. Fat burn and
right.
stuff
So it's probably pulling on information, and the algorithm's like, well, let's direct you towards men's health information.
I know.
You know.
And it just directs you there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so weird. It's just the strangest things that come up. I don't know. It's just strange.
Yeah.
The last one was... What was the last one? This is the last one that came up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's a little something for you and the missus to try.
Yeah, so weird.
Spice your love life up.
Yeah, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That one's called Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, all right.
The names are fucking hilarious.
Oh, I'm sure. They always are.
The Face Off.
Yeah.
What's this one called? I don't even understand the I mean...
Like, yeah, I'm not getting there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry. It's that's not happening. Yeah.
The names kill me, dude.
Yeah.
The socket. What is that one? Where's the funniest one I saw? That's not it. I've never seen that in my life. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I wouldn't... Like, here's the thing. Like, I would not even bring that up. Like, all right, here's what we're going to do.
The 69 bridge.
Yeah, the 69 bridge. Like, I would not even bring that up. Like, okay, here's what we're going to try. I want you to straddle my head and then lean all the way back.
Yeah, and
like,
what you're pretty much going to do here is, you're going to get in the Linda Blair exorcist position?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah, that's what she's doing.
What it is.
Yeah. And
You're going to scramble across the floor and like a spider.
Yeah. And then shoot your webbing all over my face. Like, no, like I would not like and I'm sure there are people who do that. Like I have no doubt. But it's like it doesn't look comfortable for anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, like no.
You got to lose consciousness.
Yeah. Like I haven't done something like that since I played football.
Oh, wow.
Like I'm just talking about the male position.
What kind of team sports were you playing, son?
Well, you used to do stuff where you like work on your neck, so you like bridge yourself up onto your neck and rock your neck around. So like, you know what I mean? Like, so like you're up on your tippy toes and you were in that bridge position on your neck.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean, it's
on a machine.
Yeah, I understand that. And there are just things I would never ask. Yeah, I mean, just anybody consulted Led Zeppelin. I think they know what the Stairway to Heaven is.
Kills me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just can't imagine.
That one's called the David Copperfield.
Yeah. Like, I can't even imagine, like... Okay, here, let me show you this. I saw this article on the internet, and I want us to try this. I think this would be exciting. And like what? No.
Closed for business.
I don't even want to know.
I think it's funny.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the name's funny. You're right. But
the names are funny, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so.
Oh. Wait till you see this one.
Yeah. The Butter Churner. Oh.
It's freaking great.
Yeah, no. That's never happening.
It's fucking names. Oh. That one's called the Iron Chef.
The Iron Chef. Anyway, so lots of interesting tidbits to get to this week. This may be a long podcast.
Yeah.
So strap in, kids. Strap in. I guess the first thing we need to talk about is the developments that have happened this week for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
All the way up to today. So, last week, Russell Wilson meets with the Steelers. On Monday, he agrees to terms for a 1-year deal. Okay? And I'm cool with that. Like, fine. Like, I can honestly look at Russell Wilson, and I can say, from a talent standpoint, in 14 games last year, he threw like 28 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. If you put out the next 4 games that he should have played, well, you're talking maybe 35 touchdowns to 10 to 12 interceptions total. That's a pretty fucking good season. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so I understand, like, from a talent standpoint, signing Russell Wilson makes sense. As long as none of the other bullshit comes with him.
Oh, you know it's coming.
I hope not. Like, I do. Like, I hope... Like, I watched an interview with him, and he talked about, like, the night before, he had gone out to dinner with Cameron Hayward and Connor Hayward and Pat Fryermuth, and I think there's a couple other guys. Like, they all went out to dinner. And I feel like Cam would have been like, hey, this is who we are. This is what we do. Like, Cam's the captain, And I feel like that would have been a beneficial dinner for Russell Wilson to kind of, like, leave your bullshit to the side, come play football.
Yeah.
And everything else will take care of itself, and we can all eat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They went and they signed Patrick Queen for inside linebacker, which I love that.
Yeah, me
move.
too.
Like, I was, like, excited because that solves a linebacker problem. You've got an absolute stud there, a guy that I wish the Steelers had drafted when he was available, but he got taken by the Ravens. Like, I was just like, oh man, that's a great move for the Steelers.
Yeah,
good for them. They signed a punter.
Yeah,
who looks just like Bill Burr.
We needed a punter.
Well, yeah. I mean, they let go of Percy Harvin before that.
Yeah.
So you knew they were looking at a punter. Now, I thought they would maybe be looking at the draft and getting the kid from Iowa. But they go and they sign this guy from Houston who, again, looks just like Bill Burr.
Yeah.
But you'd think Bill Burr was the punter. But he's very good. So you got that. And everything felt like okay. Like, I'm like, all right, I can see this, you know. And, we get to Friday. And out of nowhere, the announcement comes that, they've traded Kenny Pickett to Philadelphia. Like a day or two before, they had traded Deontay Johnson to Carolina for a corner.
Right.
Which is what they needed. Again, this is a need. They went and they got that corner who's going to be opposite Joey Porter Jr.
Right.
So you got that hopefully situated, and I didn't mind that trade, just because, Johnson's been problematic. He hasn't been consistent. Like, for a guy his size, as well as he runs routes, like he'll make a phenomenal catch and then he'll drop the easy one.
Right.
And you're just like, what the hell? So, like, that was something, like, I was just like, okay, I see why you would trade him away. It makes sense.
Right.
But then they trade Pickett yesterday.
Yeah.
And then it comes out, and there's two sides to this story. It comes out, people were like, well, before the Seattle game when he refused to dress as the third quarterback, that was him throwing a hissy fit. And then when they signed Russell Wilson, he asked to be traded. He was very unhappy when they signed Russell Wilson. He has to be traded.
Yeah.
And we don't need that bullshit here in Pittsburgh. Glad he's gone.
Right.
Now, I'm going to say this first. Did Kenny Pickett play well last year? No, he didn't.
Right.
I'm not going to deny that. Do I think part of it's him? Yes. Do I think part of it is the offensive staff he had around him? Yes. Do I think he would have maybe played better given an opportunity under a new staff? Absolutely. Only because you saw those flashes of greatness. You'd see those. He'd make that great throw. But he also had the problems of missing open wide receivers in the middle of the field. He had the problem of leaving the pocket too soon. Like, he had problems. I'm not denying that for a second. I'm not denying he didn't play well. And I'm not even going to deny he probably didn't handle this situation well.
Right.
From the sound of things. But there is another side to this story that I think also tells an interesting tale. Aditi Kikabawa, who covered the Steelers for the NFL Network. So, Adam Schefter reports the Steelers are trading quarterback Kenny Pickett to the Philadelphia Eagles in a pick swap per sources tell ESPN. Once the Pittsburgh signed Russell Wilson, Pickett preferred to move on.
Okay.
That's what Adam Schefter says.
Okay.
Aditi says preferred is not because Kenny Pickett is running away from competition. He was explicitly told by the Steelers Wilson will start. Reneging on a pledge they had given him after 2 years of chaos, he'd finally be put in a position to succeed, per sources appraised of the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she says, I myself had conversations with an offensive-minded head coach this week who said he'd take Kenny Pickett in a second and win with him, and with a front office exec who via text called him an NFL starter with upside. Could the Steelers have sent the quarterback to a place he'd have a chance to start? And lastly, in regards to the number 3 thing with Seattle. Let's pretend you're not fully healthy and not fully cleared to play. But let's say your team has a starter and a backup that week. But you can be the emergency third QB if you get shot up. The trainers and docs say, not worth it. You're the bad guy for not overruling the doctors.
Right.
Okay. So, if the Steelers have told him, hey, we're looking to sign Russell Wilson, but we are going to give you an opportunity to compete for the starting job.
Yeah.
Because again, you're only paying Russell Wilson $1.2 million. If he loses the job to Kenny Pickett, no big deal. You're not paying him that much. But if you say, like, hey, we're going to give you an opportunity to start, and then once you sign Wilson, go, oh, yeah, he's a starting quarterback, you'll be the backup.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, again, I am not justifying what Kenny did. Do I think he could have handled it better? 100%. If what Aditi Kikabawa is saying is true, this is a screw-up of monumental proportions by both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then today, the Steelers have made a trade with the Chicago Bears to bring Justin Fields here.
Yeah, and this is what I can't understand.
Well, let me tell you, in our group chat, Thad yesterday went from 6 to midnight with the Kenny Pickett trade.
Right.
His email is nothing but telling us how horrible Kenny Pickett is. And then today, he stayed at midnight because of Justin Fields.
Right.
And I need somebody to tell me, what do you see in Justin Fields that I'm missing?
Okay.
I do. I need somebody to tell me this. Because what I see is a guy who threw 68 interceptions in 3 years. A guy who does not take care of the football. A guy who, at his best, when he is absolutely at his best, it is when you just let him run. Like a Lamar Jackson.
Right.
This is not a quarterback you can win with. A quarterback who's a turnover machine. Like, say what you will about Pickett. You know what he didn't do? Put your team in a position to lose.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
Like, on all honesty, like, he didn't throw interceptions. He didn't turn over the ball. But we're going to bring in Justin Fields. Justin Fields, the savior of the fucking franchise. And he throws interceptions like he's handing out candy at a parade.
Right.
Here's an interception for you. Here's an interception for you. Like, there is and Thad's like, well, he can learn under Wilson. Like, no, the guy is fucking garbage.
Yeah.
Guys like this spend their careers never developing because their coaches in high school and in college tell them to trust their athleticism.
Right.
So now I've got a 23-year-old kid who has spent his entire playing career from the time he was 10 years old. Trust your athleticism.
Right. Yeah.
So he can't read defenses that well.
Right.
He's not going to stand in the pocket and make the throw. He's going to break the pocket, and then he's not looking downfield to make a throw. He's looking to run the football.
Right.
Because that's what he does. He trusts his athleticism.
Right, right.
I don't want that. Like, I pray to God I am wrong. I do. Like, if I'm wrong, I will eat my words. I have no problem doing that.
Right.
If Justin Field comes in and he plays lights out football and we win a Super Bowl with him, praise be.
Right, right.
You know?
Yeah.
But I just don't see that happening. Like, because if he was that good, if they were that happy with him in Chicago, why would they trade him away for a 4th-round draft pick?
Right. Yeah, I know.
Like, why is Chicago we're happy to take what your scraps while you go get yourself a whole new quarterback because you don't think you can win with this guy.
Right. Yeah, right. No, I know.
I mean, honestly, like that's. But people were just like, "Oh, thank goodness we've got Justin Fields," and I'm like, you do understand what's happening here. A poorly run franchise is letting go of yet another first round quarterback, the second one we've taken from that. Because don't forget, Mitch Trubisky was a guy they traded up for in the first round.
Oh yeah,
and let go. He went to Buffalo, and then he came to us. And now we've got Justin Fields, who was another quarterback they traded up for in the first round.
Right.
And they've decided to discard. But we're happy as hell to have him.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Like, it makes no sense to me.
I hear you.
You know? But here we are. Like I honestly believe if Russell Wilson can keep the BS away, he could make a run in the playoffs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I honestly do. I feel like right now you've got to get somebody who's going to be on the other side of Pickens. And like everybody's like, well, we'll get Tyler Boyd. Well, he's not a 2, he's a 3. You've got Calvin Austin, who's a 3. Like, there's no clear number 1 or number 2. Like, you need somebody opposite Pickens, because otherwise, all teams are going to do is double team him and maybe even triple team him. Like, just roll coverage to Pickens. Don't let him beat you.
Right.
And, we'll let you, nickel and dime us with Tyler Boyd and Pratt Freiermuth and whoever else you want to, Hunter Renfrow or whoever else you want to bring.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's... And then the next question becomes, who's your quarterback next year?
It's Russell Wilson.
But you only have him for a 1-year deal.
Oh, the next year.
The next year, 2025. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Like...
Do you think they did this to move up in the draft a pick?
Well, like, I mean, that's where the question becomes. Because so you've got Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You've got him on a 1-year deal. You've got Justin Fields, who's on his rookie contract, but this is his 4th year. You've got to make a decision right now on his 5th-year option, which is $25 million.
Yeah.
Are you going to pay him $25 million or not? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Like, if Russell Wilson balls out, he's going to want $30 to $40 million next year.
Yeah, and we're not paying that.
You're not paying that. So do you draft that quarterback this year?
Yeah.
Like, do you use a first-round draft pick to get one of these, top-end quarterbacks? Because, like, even, like, there's talking, like, Bo Nix or J.J. McCarthy, that, like, they're going to be available when the Steelers pick.
Yeah.
Like, but you also have needs at guard, tackle, and center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you need another wide receiver. You like there are other needs you have to fill that are probably a whole lot more urgent, but they get back burnered because now you need a quarterback who's going to be your quarterback in 2025.
Right.
And, like, I don't see them paying Justin Fields that $25 million, but yet here he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a conundrum that I don't see. Like, it's like, wow, Omar Khan, he's wheeling and dealing for this year. Like,
yeah.
Like, in all honesty, they are going all in on this year.
Yeah.
Like, we need to win today. And then we'll worry about next year. Well, I mean, that's not the job of the GM. The GM's job is to worry about next year, this year.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I mean, they went, and this is, like, I think the first time ever in NFL history that a team who had multiple, like, got rid of all 3 quarterbacks who started for them at one time.
Right.
Trubisky, gone. Mason Rudolph, gone. Pickett, gone.
Right.
No, it's unheard of. So I don't know. Like, everything with Kenny Pickett, fine. You traded him. I disagree with it, but I get it.
Right.
I don't mind the Russell Wilson signing, but man, Justin Fields is just... That one hurts, and I hope I'm wrong.
I know. I couldn't understand. G texted me today. He said, Russell Wilson. And he texted me about Fields. I was like, I don't understand. I don't understand the Fields thing.
No. It makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I don't get it. What did they sign him for?
Well, he didn't sign him. It was a trade.
Oh,
he was still under contract to Chicago.
Okay.
They made a trade for him. This is his 4th year, and you have to make a determination on that 5th-year option.
Okay.
You know, and if I'm Justin Fields, like, if I don't start this year, like, and the Steelers say, well, we're not going to pick up your 5th-year option. We'll negotiate. I'm like, fuck you. I'm trying free agency then.
Yeah. Maybe they're doing it as a favor or something. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, it's baffling to me, but, like, I need somebody to just explain it to me. Explain to me why you are so excited about Justin Fields. Like, why is he such a great get?
Right.
I don't think anybody can. Except for, well, he's athletic. Well, so fucking what?
Right.
Like, I understand you need an athletic quarterback, but he's not athletic. He's a running quarterback. There's a huge difference in that terminology.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes is an athletic quarterback.
Right.
Josh Allen's an athletic quarterback. But they're not looking to run.
Right.
Their athleticism gets them out of trouble, and then they make a big play down the field.
Yeah.
Justin Fields gets out of trouble and has his eyes looking down because he is looking to run the football, not up the field looking to make a play.
Right. Yeah, I know.
You know. So, I mean, it has been the strangest week I've ever had being a Steeler fan.
Okay.
Because they don't do this. This is not Steeler football. Anywhere near Steeler football.
Right.
Now, I mean, you could say that that's a good thing. Maybe the Steeler way needed to die, and this is how the new wave, and Omar Khan is doing things differently than the Steelers did for 40 years previously.
Right.
Okay, fine. You know what I mean? But at the same time, like, it is still a whiplash effect to me, somebody who's used to there being no activity in free agency.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of shit going on.
Like
with this guy.
Yeah.
But
like,
we did the same thing last year.
Not
a lot of activity.
There was a lot of activity, yeah, but not to this extent.
Because that Tyler Boyd thing was a rumor, right?
That's still percolating.
Wow.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Tyler Boyd. I do. Like, Pitt kid, local kid. I mean,
yeah.
You know, across the river is where he played football. Won four state championships. Never lost a game until he went to Pitt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I watched him at Pitt. He's a fucking stud. You know? At least at Pitt he was. But, like, now, like I said, I mean, in Cincinnati's offense, he's their third wide receiver.
Right.
I mean, you've got Higgins and you've got,
yeah,
you know, so Chase. So, like, he was a third. Like, even before Higgins and Chase got there, he was like a hybrid second receiver.
Yeah.
You know? Like, he was never... I mean, he's been good. He's been reliable. But, like, if you're asking me, like, have him line up every down on the opposite side of George Pickens, I know George Pickens is double covered every game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because you're going to be more than happy to single cover Boyd, and while you may give up yardage, you're not going to get beat.
Right.
Like, your mantra becomes, don't let George Pickens beat you.
Yeah.
You know? Because that's the guy who can change a game in a heartbeat.
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
You know, Tyler Boyd is not going to change the game in a heartbeat. Calvin Austin could if he was reliable. That's the problem. Like, he's not reliable.
Right. We got to give him another year.
I hope that's what it needs, but like, I mean, and he had that explosive play like that. He had that, I think it was a 75-yarder.
Yeah.
That like he took to the house, and you're like, that's why you drafted him.
Yeah.
But, you know, he doesn't get open.
Yeah. Deontay was always open.
But Deontay was like AB light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and because he ran amazing routes, he got himself open. He wasn't the fastest, but it was precise route running. If he told you it was, you know, 8 yards and hook, he was hooking at 8 yards.
Yeah.
Not at 7, not at 9, at 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what you want from a precise route runner, and he was phenomenal at that. But he was like so unreliable in the hands department,
right?
Where like he'd make a phenomenal play and then he'd drop the next two,
right?
You know that you couldn't. You know, like, I hope he cleans that up. I like Deontay Johnson. I mean, I know he has some prima donna tags to him, but I mean, I got that's a wide receiver.
I had no problems with Deontay Johnson.
No, neither did I.
None.
But my only problem with Deontay Johnson was his performance at times.
Yeah, but I think he solved that catching issue.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know.
But, yeah, I mean, there's some exciting things going on right now.
Yeah.
You know. Just have to wait and see, because they did some stuff last year, too. No, I don't think as big as this, but...
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Peterson...
That Queen deal was...
That's huge. That's monstrous.
Yeah.
I mean, that is about as close as you could get to, like, getting, he used to play linebacker for Baltimore.
Suggs.
Yeah. Terrell Suggs, who I always wished was a Steeler.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I hate that fucker's guts, but I wished he was a Steeler because he fit. You know what I mean? He fit the rivalry, though. Like, I hated you because you were at Baltimore. You were that fucking good, and you ran your mouth.
Yeah.
And you backed it up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, man, you would have looked really fucking good in black and gold. And I felt the same way about Queen. Like, I was like, man, like, I wish that guy was a Steeler.
Yeah.
I really did. And, like, so that have him come in now, it's like, well, he's already broken in. He knows how to play NFL defense. He's going to be great. You know, like, and it solves your biggest problem at middle linebacker, that sideline to sideline speed.
Yeah.
Like, you haven't had that since Ryan Shazier.
Yeah.
You got it for 1 year from Bush, and then he gets hurt, and he's never the same again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, like, you know, you hope this guy retires a Steeler because he's just that good.
Yeah.
You know?
And it is. On the defensively, I think we're looking pretty solid here.
Oh, I mean,
they're going after a safety, too, right? Or, I mean, another corner, not a cornerback.
Well, I mean, I know that they got Deontay Jackson from Carolina.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you know, you're looking at, you know, him and I think they still need, like, something at the safety position opposite Minka.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I feel like at corner, they're pretty solid with 1 and 2 and even 3. Like, I mean, I feel like they're pretty solid now at that spot.
Yeah.
You love to see him, like, get a good safety opposite Minka.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, you're solid. Everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, you really are.
Yeah, they're pretty tough on D.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there were some guys who came through with the defensive line, and you feel comfortable with that now.
Yeah.
I mean, Watt and Highsmith, that say no more.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like it feels like it's that funny thing where you were just asking your offense to score 21 points last year, and the defense will do the rest.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Russell Wilson, the offense can score 21 points, and the defense will do the rest.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, I mean, I feel like if you could solidify that offensive line a little bit more, Najee and Warren are a 1-2 punch that can't be beat. You throw Russell Wilson's ability off of play action to make plays. Like, he still has his deep ball.
Yeah.
It's still there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he displayed it last year in Denver.
Yeah.
So, I feel like there's a lot I like about this season.
Right.
But my problem becomes what happens next season.
Yeah.
In the season after that. Like, that's where my concern is.
Yeah.
Like, what I'd love to do and listening to Russell Wilson, like, I'd love to see them sign him to, like, a 3-year deal next year. If he plays that well.
Yeah. We'll see how he plays.
Right. But
I'm excited to see how he plays.
So am I. But, like, the question becomes, number one, again, at what point does the bullshit start to creep in? And two, are you going to be able to afford him?
Yeah. He might price himself out.
He might, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody's going to want to pay that money.
Right. But that's the problem the Steelers have is because they've spent so much money on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
That it's hard to afford a top-end quarterback.
Yeah. No, I know. I get it.
I mean, you look at what Kirk Cousins got paid to go to Atlanta, and you're just like, man, the Steelers couldn't have done that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking way. But it'll be interesting.
Right.
So, moving on to the nerdy stuff that people want to hear about. Did you watch the Crow trailer?
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts.
I like the casting.
Uh-huh.
I think he looks good.
Yeah.
I love the
way the makeup's being done.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn a little bit because Brandon Lee played Draven so well.
Yeah.
So well.
Yeah.
I mean, he really embodied that character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard for me because I don't want to compare it to the first.
Right.
But you can't help compare it to the first because that's the standard.
Right. And also, that's the names that they're using. It's Eric and Shelley.
Yeah, I know.
You know. Yeah. I'm torn as well. Like, I'll freely admit it. Like, there's a part of me that wants to hate this.
Yeah, I know.
But there's a part of me that's like, here's my problem. And the first Crow movie with Brandon Lee, while it is different from the comic book, there are things that are pulled right out of the comic book.
Right.
The scene in the pawn shop, that is almost verbatim.
Yeah.
Like, they took the comic book, panel by panel and recreated it on the big screen.
Right.
The scene with the junkie mother.
Yeah.
And he squeezes the opium out and he says, God is the name.
Yeah.
The mother's name of God and the lips and children. And, like, that is taken almost word for word, panel for panel, right from the comic book. Like, there are moments like that you, like, as a fan of the comic book, I appreciated them bringing to the big screen. I think it was the first time I understand you can't do a one-for-one adaptation of something, but the way they adapted it still made the source material proud. That makes sense.
Right.
Now, I'm watching this and I don't feel like I feel like they took, like, the idea of the Crow. And they took the idea of Eric Draven and Shelley. And
it was badass when he shot through himself to get to the guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like, it looks like it's and I like Danny Hudson, the villain.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. But it's that thing of, like, it's not even trying, like, it's like it's trying to take, like, the idea of that comic book, and we are just going to completely change, but keep the very, very basis of it.
Yeah, because the original Crow looked like you were watching a comic book.
Yeah.
Exactly. From the scenery, the scenes, the darkness, the shots.
Right.
The deaths. Everything about that was like you're flipping through a comic book.
Right.
And that's why I think a lot of people liked the Crow. And I think he pulled Draven off, like, perfectly.
I think, like, it's that weird thing of, like, right place, right time.
Yeah.
And I feel like at that time, like, it's not an action movie, it's a love story.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and like the little bits of everything about that movie is you hold it in just such high esteem. And I mean, and they've done other versions of The Crow. I mean, they did Crow City of Angels, which was not good. And they did another one which had Kirsten Dunst and the kid from Terminator 2, which was not good. They did multiple versions of comic books of The Crow. Some of them were good, some of them not so much. But that original, like, version and the pain that, you know, James O'Barr went through losing his wife to tragedy and writing the story and everything about it, like, and then you throw in, like, the bleak mystique of, you know, it being Brandon Lee's last movie, dying on the set, everything about that. But the performance is so strong. And I mean, and to me, it's one of the best endings to a movie ever. Like, when he's, like, in the graveyard, just sitting at the tombstone, telling Shelley he's coming home, and she's walking between the tombstones, walking to him. That gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm looking at this trailer, and I'm trying very, very hard to give it its fair shake. But when I hear them say Eric and Shelley, I just don't see Eric and Shelley. That's maybe my problem.
Well, I think part of that, too, is the movie depicted Eric and Shelley so well.
Yeah.
Especially in the flashbacks.
Yeah.
And, like, you believed that love story.
Yes, absolutely. 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you, from flashbacks and leading to.
Right.
You believed that was real.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And they're really going to have to prove to me in this movie that is real, because that is the whole basis of the Crow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, but it was really, I mean, just the apartment alone. I mean, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just depicted very well. The Crow is a really good movie.
And like, even at the end when he's like, you know, I've got 18 hours of pain, you know, and oh shit. I mean, it's stuff like that it's like,
yeah,
you know,
the way he carried himself, the way,
yeah,
he, you know, yeah, it's just crazy. Anyway.
Like, and even like, I mean, and it's odd to say, but James O'Barr will tell you it's important. The soundtrack is extremely important. And you go back and you watch that movie, and it's like, you know, like when he's put on the makeup and that Cure song's playing, and it's so fucking good. And, you know, the STP song later on, and like, just every little thing is important in that movie to set the tone and everything about it. And like, I mean, and like, I hope, like, I want to give it its day in court, but every time they say Eric and Shelley, I'm like, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
And that hurts me because I want to.
I think Skarsgård looks amazing, though.
I do too. Like I think like he looks at like, and you're right. Like I mean, even that scene where like he gets blasted with the shotgun and falls in the bathtub, and then he comes out. I mean, fuck, that's badass. You know.
I mean, he looks good.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it's almost like and you can't go back to the original Crow.
No.
You know what I mean? But even the bad guy in the Crow was good.
Yeah.
That guy was fucking amazing. And his goofy sister, wife, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
I like her eyes. You know,
the pretty eyes.
yeah. Oh.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
yeah. But and they smoked them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's fucked up. I mean, that's just fucked up.
But that dude was so cool that when he showed up in Alien Resurrection and died in the first 10 minutes, I was pissed.
I was heartbroken.
I was like, I almost walked out of the fucking movie.
I know, me too. I was like, oh, it's him. Finally,
Yeah.
I get to see him. I think he was in like a. Seems to me he was like in a Three Musketeers some shit or something.
He was, yeah.
But.
Man in the Iron Mask or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was absolutely amazing. I'm serious. That dude's amazing.
Let me look him up. Like, let's give him the old P&P career retrospective. So his name is Michael Wincott. So, okay, I forgot about this. He was in the Three Musketeers movie. It was the one with like Charlie Sheen, Kiefer Sutherland, Chris O'Donnell, and Oliver Platt as the Musketeers.
Yeah.
But he was also in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. He played Guy of Gisborne. He's the one who's like, why a spoon, cousin?
Oh,
yeah.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because it'll hurt more, you twit. Yeah, he played Guy. He's in Strange Days, which is a movie I absolutely adore. So most recently he was in Nope, which I haven't seen yet, but I do want to see. That looks very good. He was in Westworld for 2 episodes.
It's his voice.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot of like video game, voiceover work.
But I mean, like, he's a cool dude, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
he should have had his time. Because he played an excellent villain.
Yeah, he was also in The Count of Monte Cristo.
Okay.
Alien Resurrection.
Like, you should have been Harry Potter or some shit. Somebody.
I don't think he's British. I think that's the problem.
Oh, that's right.
He played Paul Rothschild in The Doors.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of, like, in the 80s, like, one episode here, one episode there. But, yeah, I mean, like... Yeah, I mean, like, when he shows up in Alien Resurrection and dies, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. Wasn't that depressing?
It was. And he was, like, really good in that, too. Like, he played a bit of a dick. I'm like, I like him. I like this guy. And, I mean, and in The Crow, like, he was just so fucking good as Top Dollar.
Yeah, he was. But, I mean, like, in Alien, I mean, I was so heartbroken.
Yeah.
I was like... I know I'm going back to that, but, like, as soon as he died, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Nobody else is this interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you kill the captain off?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He was a great captain.
Yeah.
You know?
I was, like, so pissed.
I know. Stupid. I
Yeah.
mean, I know everyone dies in alien movies. I get it. You know,
Yeah.
Predator movies, you expect it, right?
But not a guy like that
But,
early.
man, let him go out good. At
Yeah.
least, you know? Don't fucking alien coming through the fucking grated
Yeah.
walkway.
Oh.
Come on, man. That was the worst.
Such a bummer.
It was.
It was. So I think we're both kind of in the agreement that were iffy on the Crow based upon the trailer.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to like it. I really, really do. And I mean, and the thing becomes this. And I've kind of understood this and I've accepted this a little bit. This just might not be my Crow.
Right. But it might be someone else's.
It might be. It very well could be. Like, you know, this new like your kids, Anna and Brie, like this may be like their Crow.
I don't know.
It's true.
Yeah, you're barking up the wrong tree
Maybe,
with my kids.
Yeah. Okay, you got me there. Yeah,
I'm going to argue that one to the death.
Okay.
Because my kids will never like this better than the original.
Okay. You're right. Bad example, but
it is a bad example.
Kids their age,
correct.
Adults their age. This may be because I mean, when that came out, I was probably 22 or 23.
Yeah.
You know, around their age.
My girls are have old souls.
They do, yes.
You know what I mean?
Right. No, you're right. But I was around that age,
right,
when the original came out, and it affected me a lot. Like, more than and it's a weird thing to say, but that movie probably affected me as much as like seeing Star Wars for the first time did.
Yeah.
But it was different because it was like, wow. Like, I can't explain it, but like it
I think there's an STP song on that soundtrack.
There is.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was like one of those things where it was like after I watched that, it like imprinted itself on my soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was that good.
Yeah. And it's hard to have...
It may be one of the best movies of its time.
Yes. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Like, if you're talking 90s movies in total, you have to include that movie as one of the top of all time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it's a... So it's tough. Like, it's tough. I hate looking at this, and it's like... Excuse me. I feel like I'm knocking it, but I'm trying not to because I want to like it, but I don't know if I will just because of my attachment to the source material, both the original movie and the comic book.
Right. No, I know.
You know.
I know.
I mean, my copy is signed by James O'Barr.
That's fantastic.
I went, because me and Nancy were talking about it, and I was like, because she's never read it. And she's only seen the movie, and she loves the movie. It's one of her favorites.
Yeah.
But she's like, I'm like, well, I have a copy. She's like, I know. I was there when you got it signed.
Yeah. I'm
like, shit, that's right. Mine is signed. I went to a comic book convention specifically to get my copy signed.
Yeah.
You know, that I've had since 1994. Like, you know.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool as hell. You should hold on to that forever.
Oh, I will. It's just that thing you kind of like. It happened so long ago, and I haven't looked at that in so long.
I think the movie The Crow changed a lot of lives.
I do too.
And I know that sounds odd, but
as a Gen X person, like that honestly did. That was like
it was okay to be dark. It was okay to be goth. It was okay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It didn't give it credence, I guess. I don't know how to really put it, but I don't know. It just had a whole vibe and a whole feel on its own that was completely separate than anything that was being put out.
Yeah,
and it worked.
It kicked off like my dark phase.
Yeah,
like I won't ever say I went goth because I don't think I was goth per se, but like that was when I grew my hair. Like the front of my hair went down on my chin.
Yeah.
And I wore it that way.
Yeah.
Like if I wasn't at work, my hair was down in my face.
Yeah.
You know. Like, I mean, I'll never forget the story of, like, you know, I got my hair down in my face. I'm wearing a pair of sunglasses. I'm watching the doors at this girl's house while a buddy of mine's banging her mom. And she's sitting there as I am just crushing 16-ounce pounders.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not even paying attention to her. And she's just looking like, you are so fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, I know. You know, like,
what's wrong with you?
Like, I was just like in that period, you know.
No, I get it.
All right, so moving on. Some interesting news in the world of Star Wars. It has been announced that the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie is back on.
Really?
Yes. She states, when I left Star Wars to do Wonder Woman 3, I thought maybe I'd come back to Star Wars after Wonder Woman 3. So we did a deal for that to happen. Started a deal, but I thought I was doing Wonder Woman. When that went away, Lucasfilm and I were like, okay, we got to finish this deal. We are finishing the deal right as the strike was happening. So I owe a draft of Star Wars, and we'll see what happens from there. So, you know, based on what we know with the Mandalorian movie, with the Rey movie, with the Thrawn movie, I'm going to call it. Like, what is your... Like, hearing that they're going to do a Rogue Squadron movie, does that, like, excite you?
It piques me, yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Anything's fighting in space. It's fucking...
Yeah, like,
I'm ready.
That's the thing that, like, really, really intrigues me is, like, I hope there's a lot of, like...
Battles?
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we've been missing.
Yes.
To tell you the truth.
Well, yeah,
and all the science fiction that's out there. And blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
We don't get into these space battles. Like, when I first watched... Oh, I don't remember the name of it. It was a Star Trek movie. When Sulu showed up.
Oh, Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
That was badass. And that was the taste of it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the that battle, because, like, the Enterprise is getting hammered, and the Excelsior comes flying in, and...
Yeah.
Takes the hits for the Enterprise, and you're just like, shit!
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but that was, like, the beginning of it, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you saw him in Star Wars, but it wasn't, like... It was okay. You know what I mean? But then when Discovery came out, that shit blew my mind.
Why?
That one battle.
Oh, yeah.
The battle. Is that the end of the first season? Or end of the second?
Well, the end of the second season with all the little ships and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like...
Yeah.
Mind blown.
I always liked... I mean... Obviously, like, your first real taste of that is the Death Star in A New Hope.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But then you get it on a massive scale. Like, it's still, to me, one of the best space fight scenes is the Battle of Death Star 2, the Battle of Endor. Like...
Yeah.
That's amazing. The fact that they did that all with models and shit is, like, mind-numbing. Like, there's no computer graphics in that. You know? Like, it was like, holy shit, how did they do this? But I also always liked, like, I always loved the ship fights in, like, Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Because they were reminiscent of, like sea ships.
Right.
You know, like, the Reliance coming in, she's making... coming alongside and firing, at your broadside.
Yeah.
Hitting the, not aiming at your nose, not aiming at your tail. It's broadside shots.
Right.
And I always thought that was kind of cool. And then, the battle in the Nebula is like, that was like a submarine scene.
Yeah.
It was like it became a submarine movie because, like, now you don't have your sensors, now you don't have your view screen, you're trying to guess where your opponent is, stuff like that. That I loved.
Yeah.
You fast forward, like the next one that kind of blows my mind is the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Again, like you're getting like those battleships are like they're doing like sea maneuvers where they're broadsiding each other and shit, but also you've got like Anakin and Obi-Wan and their fighters like flying through all of this and this massive battle taking place. So I get what you're saying, like that. It's that thing of like it says Star, So I want to see it like the prequel trilogy had all three of those movies like had like X-wing and TIE fighter battles, but they never took place in space.
Right.
They were always in.
I tell you what was a badass scene from the new Star Wars. The first one, the Rey one.
Yeah.
When those B bombers came in, were loaded with those fucking bombs.
That was the second one.
Was that the second one?
Yeah.
It was the second
one. That was how it opened with the second one, because they were taking on the Dreadnought.
Yes, and they destroyed the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
That was some badass shit.
That was cool, yeah.
I mean, that was a space battle.
Yeah, you're right.
And that was like that was good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that was good.
Yeah, I can't deny that. Yeah, you're right. I forgot
that
about
was
that.
Good. I mean, come on. But then, that ended.
Yeah. But like, I would love to see, and even like in The Rise of Skywalker, like you have that. Here's this, armada of Star Destroyers. And, you do have, like, the X-Wings and the TIEs, and it's a cool battle. And then later on, like, the entire galaxy shows up.
Right.
In that Avengers-like moment. But it didn't feel as good as Return of the Jedi.
Right.
It didn't feel as good as, like, the Revenge of the Sith. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't. Like, it's a weird thing, like that battle just didn't capture that magic that you hoped other battles had.
Right.
And so, yes, if you're going to give me Rogue Squadron, like, this has to have
battles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the finale can't be a gunfight. It has to be, like, a massive, dogfight.
Right. Has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has to be.
But I also I wonder okay, where is this going to take place? Are you setting this after Jedi?
Yeah.
Like in that time frame? Are you setting it later down the timeline in those 30 years after Jedi?
Yeah.
Or are you going to base it off of the current alliance?
Yeah.
And it's an interesting question that I don't know the answer to.
Right.
But at the same time, the whole thing intrigues me, because if you're giving like Rogue Squadron means something in Star Wars.
Yeah.
It started off as Red Squadron, but they were Rogue Squadron at the end.
Yeah.
And to me, that's something that it has a little extra meaning, and I want it to stand out, and I want it to be this is the elite X-Wing fighter group. This the Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds of Star Wars. And they're going to take down the Empire, whoever. I don't give a fuck. I'm excited for it. I like the idea.
I know. Me too.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So, there's no release date given for this, but it is something that, it's taking place.
Right.
And that news is enough to just make me happy.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Gotta be something else.
That's it.
Come on.
That's all I got this week. I thought some of these subjects would drag out further than they did.
What's that?
I thought these would drag out further than they did.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We talking about Yanks coming back?
Well, I mean, I think we mentioned a little bit about the retiring to Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the bobblehead theft.
Oh, and the Jake Gensel trade.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did. But we didn't talk about, the bobbleheads were, the younger bobbleheads were stolen.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Check mob right there. I'm just kidding.
Well, I saw the meme. It was like, well, who would have stole these bobbleheads? And the next panel was like Bob Nutting, like announcing like, Czechoslovakian superstar bobblehead night.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It would make sense.
Yeah.
If we can just get the Pirates on.
Very weirdly, there is hope with people with the Pirates.
Okay.
Like, they have some players. Like, you have guys where you say, man, they've got a nice young nucleus. But like the problem with the Pirates is always going to be that nice young nucleus will be gone in 5 years.
Right.
Like these aren't players that are going to stay here. They will be traded away. They will be sold off. And we're right back to rebuilding again. So, you have to hope like you make a run in the next 5 years, and maybe you get a break here and there. You can go to a World Series like Kansas City did.
Right.
But the other side of that is Kansas City was willing to sell its future to get to that World Series.
Right.
They were willing to, for 1 year, we're going to spend X amount of money extra than what we normally would.
Right.
Because we have a chance to do this.
Right.
If we've learned anything, Bob Nutting is not willing to do that.
Right.
Because when he had the chance in 2013, 2014, 2015, he never pulled that trigger.
Right.
It was at the deadline they stood pat, or they made small moves. It wasn't, let's go get that, rent a player for 1 year. We'll trade good prospects for a guy we're going to have that's going to help us make that title run. Never happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? Kansas City did that. Minnesota's willing to do that. Cleveland's willing to do that. Like, there, other small market teams are willing to take that 1 year run, but fall back for the next 10 years.
Right.
The Pirates have not shown that they're willing to do that.
Right. I know.
So, well, yes, I look at a lot of the talent on the team is exciting, but I don't feel like they're going to support that talent and make the move that they need to make to push it over the top. And in 5 years, they're all gone anyway.
Right. No, I know. All right, let's end it on that depressing note.
All right, well, remember, there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us.
Hey.
You can send us an email. An email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. Please.
Or at thebutterchurner.org.
Butterchurner.org. Wow.
Oh, man.
It's a non-profit.
Yeah, it's a non-profit. Free samples. Oh, man. Fucking butter churner. Can't.
Oh, man.
Can't get over it.
No. That'll haunt me.
Can't stop seeing it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Sometimes I'm choking myself. I'll be thinking of the butter churner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, you can send us an email at that address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. If you want to somehow justify why Justin Fields is a good choice for the Steelers in the future, please let me know.
Yeah.
You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. We're very, very easy to find. And we are on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search. You can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, want to thank you, dear listener, for taking the time to enjoy our hijinks and or shenanigans, whichever it is that you prefer.
Right.
And we can't thank you enough for your patronage and or support.
Agreed.
And so on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.